Good afternoon, Pokemon trainers, and today we will be talking about the grass starter for the Galar region, Rillaboom. Galar number 003, national number 812. So Rillaboom is known as the drummer Pokemon. You can see he's got sticks in all of his evolutions. The shiny Rillaboom is pretty cool, so if you have time to grind for that, I would definitely do that. It evolves from Thwackey at level 35, which evolves from Grookey at level 16. And this was, again, first introduced in Pokemon Sword and Shield. It's a grass type, which means it has weaknesses to bug, flying, fire, ice, and poison. But it has resistances to water, electric, grass, and ground. Rillaboom also has the ability to G-Max, which you see down in the bottom right. And his G-Max move is G-Max Drum Solo, which is basically the same as Cinderace's and Inteleon's, where it ignores your opponent's abilities. Alright, so speaking of abilities, Rillaboom has both Overgrow and Grassy Surge. Overgrow meaning that whenever its HP is low, I think below 10%, it powers up Grass-type moves. Grassy Surge means whenever he's sent out, it turns the ground into grassy terrain, which is useful because of one of the new moves introduced in the Isle of Armor update. So his base stat total is 530, which is average for starters. Pretty good. That's only 5 less than Noivern, and Noivern's a dragon type, so pretty good stats. This is the Drumroll build, and I took a long time to think of that name. But basically, you can Life Orb. You might want to Focus Sash if you're afraid of getting KO'd in one hit, but I really don't think that you have to worry about that so much with Rillaboom. But the focus is to get a Swords Dance off and take advantage of Grassy Slide priority in grassy terrain. So you might want to use either Life Orb or Expert Belt would be another one that's pretty useful. Assault Vest is also useful if you're not Swords Dancing. But yeah, Grassy Seed is also pretty useful. It raises your defense, I believe, by 1 stage in grassy terrain, which you get from the Grassy Surge. The moves, like I said, Swords Dance. Grassy Glide gets priority on grassy terrain, so that's really useful, and it gets Stab. Knockoff, that's just kind of like a utility move. Also, it hits pretty hard, and high horsepower to take care of any fire types that may cause you any problems. Alternative stats, you could try to run max speed instead of health, but I really don't recommend it because you get the priority Grassy Slide anyway. You could invest like 4 speed or whatever or 4 EVs into speed if you wanted to outspeed other Rillabooms. But if you're going Rillaboom v Rillaboom, I mean, it's going to be kind of boring anyway, so just probably avoid that. Alternative moves, Drain Punch, Acrobatics, which is pretty useful if you use the Grassy Seed. So Grassy Seed he would use, then you wouldn't have an item, so Acrobatics would be twice as strong. Wood Hammer, very strong attack. Brick Break, Darkest Lariat, Drum Beating, Earthquake, Fake Out, Hammer Art, Solar Blades, Superpower U-Turn. This is just type coverage. Some of these attacks do a lot of damage, so keep those in mind. So this is just like the pretty standard Rillaboom, like Swords Dance, and then you just Grassy Glide them to death. That's pretty much like the main build that people run. It doesn't get really any more creative than that. Basically, the items and the extra moves that you do for type coverage are what make the difference. So, I mean, yes, there is a little bit of creativity, but just like Cinderace, not so much. There's pretty much really 1 or 2, maybe 3 sub builds, but it's pretty much like the same idea each time. This has been a product of Couch Pilot Games. You can follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Couch Pilot Games, or you can join us on Facebook at Couch Pilot Games or the Pokemon Draft League, where you can, talk to trainers in our league. You can talk to the admins. You can talk to the couch pilots themselves, and just kind of get in touch with the community. Which we want to get in touch with you also. So we want to get to know you and want to spread our love for Pokemon, because we spend a lot of time thinking and working on this league for you guys. So we want to hear your feedback on what you think could be better or what you really like. The pros and cons that come with a growing YouTube channel. But anyway, thank you so much for listening, and thank you for your time.